Hi, my name is Omotola Jalade Ekeinde, and I am an under 40 CEO.
The African Renaissance. The concept that the African people and nation shall overcome the current challenges confronting the continent and achieve cultural, scientific, and economic renewal is here, with young men and women taking the lead. Some call them the new school heroes. We call them under 40 CEOs.
Omotola Jalade Ekeinde is a Nigerian actress, singer, philanthropist, and former model. Since a Nollywood film debut in 1995, the leading actress has appeared in 300 films, selling millions of video copies. After receiving numerous high-profile awards, launching a music career, and amassing an enviable fan base, she has been described as the African magic. Beyond her show business accomplishments, Omotola is also applauded for remarkable humanitarian efforts. She is one of the pioneers of the video film era of Nigerian cinema, becoming the most watched actress in Africa. In early 2013, Omotola made her US television debut in VH1's scripted series Hit the Floor and has spoken at numerous global platforms, including the World Economic Forum and the WISE Summit in Doha, Qatar. Omotola is the managing director at Red Hot Concepts.
All right, welcome to Under 40 CEOs, Omotola.
Thank you.
Amazing. So, Omotola, you were born in Lagos, you attended Chrisland schools and subsequently Command Secondary School in Kaduna. Please do share with me about growing up in the Jalade household and, fond memories from your childhood.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Fab. Growing up in the Jalade home, I almost said Ekeinde. Crazy. So growing up in the Jalade home was very intimate. I had my father, my mother, and myself for a very long time. I was an only child for a very long time, for like 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the memories I really have mostly of my childhood was just jai jai. It was just fun. We're the typical Lagos family. In those days, kind of like, a little bit above average kind of family. And then my younger brother was born, and then the one after that came closely after. And of course, you know how it is with only child. When you now have siblings, you get a little bit jealous, and all of that. And not too long after that, my dad died. So and I was in school. I left and I went to Command Secondary School, Kaduna, and so I hadn't formed too much of a bond with my younger brothers. Let me put it that way, because I was far away in Kaduna, and so I would come home for holidays. My dad was always coming to Kaduna. I think my mom came once. I'm not very sure how many times she came, but yeah, so those are the memories I had. But it was, like I said, we're very close, knit family. And I lost my father, and then life went zzz from then.
I'm sure he's excited about all that you've achieved so far. But I also know that you modeled as a teenager. Please do share about your experience as a model.
So I started modeling after secondary school. When I came out from secondary school, I was 15, when I left Command Kaduna. And my mom was already widowed at the time, and I needed to help her. So I really wanted to do something. I didn't know what I could do at the time, but luckily I had a family friend, on our, not street, but neighborhood. He was then a supermodel, we used to call supermodel. He was a Mr. Big at the time. His name was Onivia Kerile. I remember his name so well. So he was like a superstar in the back of the day. And he lived in our neighborhood. And I remember, his face was on all the billboards and everything. And so he saw how much I was always going around, helping my mom at her shop in Yanopaja. She was selling drinks and pepper soup and all the stuff. She had that store. And how, as a young girl, I was still also, going around trying to do other things. And I had all this discussion with him that I really wanted to help out with my younger ones. And so he said, you're a very perfect person for modeling. Have you ever thought about that? I said, no. I was very protected, so he was like, okay, I'll go tell your mom. Well, family friends anyway. My mom knew his mom, so of course it was like a major family meeting. And so they told my mom was like, why? Because she doesn't even need to all that talk. And then eventually She agreed.
Okay.
And so, but on only one condition, that he would, supervise, and if anything went wrong, he would be held responsible, right? And so that was how I started modeling.
Nice.
And yeah.
Amazing. It says online that you attended Obafemi Awolowo University, briefly.
Very briefly.
Why briefly?
At the time, I had already met my husband. And it was very clear that he wasn't staying in Nigeria.
Okay.
And so even coming to Lagos was already a headache. So having to come all the way to Ife was almost like a no-no, because he didn't know his way around and stuff like that. And he was always here very briefly, a very short period of time. So I knew that, if I wanted to manage that relationship, I would have to school in Lagos. That was one.
Okay.
The other reason I would say is because I knew that I would be able to get an admission in Lagos. In general, I just felt like it was a better option for me at the time. So,
Okay. So you came back to Lagos, estate management at Yaba College of Technology.
I actually got admission into UNILAG as well, but
Oh,
DLI,
really?
yes,
Oh, wow.
into the Distant Learning Institute, and for the same course, economics.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then I got Yaba Tech, estate management, but I preferred at the time. I already was really trying out for estate, and so I went for that.
Okay, why estate management?
I love estates. I love designing. I love anything. In fact, I'm the kind of girl that if you open my phone or my iPad or anything right now, you'll see multiple pages open on estate properties and stuff like
wow.
that. I'm only interested in two things: estate and cars.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like a dude. I don't talk about
I would have
bags.
said fashion and all
No.
that. Wow.
You would never catch me looking at bags, shoes, clothes. I'm not that kind of
Cars
girl.
and houses?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's amazing. Okay, let's move on back to movies. So over 23 years now, and say about 300 movies plus down, and you're still doing it. What keeps you going?
Hope for life. I think I just have fire in my soul. I'm a very passionate person generally about life, and I think I'm a perfectionist. I just believe that things can be done and can be done right. It puts me in trouble sometimes, but for the most part, it fuels my spirit, and everything that we imagine will make our lives better. It's possible. It just takes time and push.
It is possible, it takes time, and in 2005 you decided it was possible for you to be a musician.
Yeah.
How's that big going?
It still is possible. I know haters don't want to hear that. Don't want to hear that I love music or that I do music, but that's your problem. I read somewhere somebody said, "Oh my God, affliction cannot arise a second time." And I'm like, if you're afflicted, then you're ready to be afflicted for life. I don't know what you did, but then that's your cross. But, I believe it's a bandwagon. People just like to follow, and then make jokes about things and say things that, sound cool and funny. And so I think a lot of people who have never even listened to my music or anything really just find it interesting to say, "Oh, she can't sing," and "Oh my God, no, we don't." But if you people who have actually listened to my music have actually said my music is good, and it has to be. I was signed to Bungalow Universal. I mean, like, duh. I mean, like, I was signed to an international label, and I still receive royalties till today. My song "Barren Land" was adapted by Amnesty International. So I mean, like, there have to be good music for such platforms to find them credible.
All right. So talking about making music, I see one of your sons has taken after you musically. He's a music producer today. Do all of your children have a flair or passion for the arts?
No, not really. I'll say my first son, Captain E, he's a music producer, like you said, and also an artist, so he sings as well. So him, yes. My first daughter, no. She's into hospitality and tourism and stuff like that. My second daughter, she's into fashion. She's your kind of people. She's into fashion, and even though that she's doing business management, but her thing is fashion. So she actually studied fashion merchandising as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And then so my last son, yes, so actually my two boys, funny enough, it just really dawned on me. So my last son, actually, yes, he's the one who's probably going to take after me because he's into filmmaking.
Oh, nice.
So he's actually going to school to study filmmaking.
All right. Tell me quickly, Omotola, will you ever retire as an actor?
No, when I'm dead, you can actually use my cups to act. Duh. Who retires? Nope.
Okay, so not satisfied with just being an actor, you went ahead at some point to set up your own production and management firm. Please tell me the problems that this firm was set up to, resolve.
Well, infrastructure. And so basically, for example, shooting today, we don't have studios. We don't have, at least in Lagos, we don't have many studios. I want to build a film village. So pretty much all our shooting needs should be met, because then right now we're shooting here and we're working on with the gen. And so when it's not a proper studio, it's not insulated, noise, pollution and all of that comes. And we've had to stop severally because of moving noise and traffic and stuff like that. So, but if it was a proper studio, then all of that is insulated. You don't hear that, and you have different kinds of sets that you can use and stuff like that. So, one, that. Two, also the fact that as artists, we need to be in artistic areas, and environments and all of that stuff. Have our own kind of environment where we can do whatever we want to do at whatever time. You don't want to go shoot in someone's house and they're telling you, oh, you have just 2 hours to go. It hinders your ability, your freedom and your artistic expression and all of that. So yeah, so things like that, for example. And we also eventually want to have our own school. So we're going to be building a school, which is in our nearest future, where we can actually train thespians, properly, where it would be accredited, internationally accredited, And so yeah, these are our plans, and just pretty much just to make sure that we have standard entertainment platforms that can be respected anywhere in the world.
Omotola is the first African celebrity to receive 1 million likes on her Facebook page, and she currently has over 3 million followers on Facebook alone.
So let's talk social media, because I spied the social media award in the corner there. You've got millions of followers on social media. I mean, do you sometimes feel like the president of a nation? Because even some of these nations don't have as many followers as you have today.
Oh, sexy nation.
Oh, sexy
We actually even
nation.
have our own nation. Imagine, we have our own nation. It's called Oh Sexy Nation. Well, yes, I'm the president of the Sexy Nation. How about that? But I think that was because the growth I had on Facebook was a lot very quickly. I think I was the first celebrity in Africa to have over 1 million followers or whatever,
on Facebook.
On Facebook
Yes.
at the time. I think I still have the highest, I'm not sure, on Facebook. But then now there's Instagram and then
the
so
monster.
yeah, so there's so many people that have more followers than me on Instagram now.
We've got about 2.6 million
Yeah.
followers on Instagram.
But I think one of the things that people have said to me, I don't go on social media very often, but when I do, I interact. So I think that was one of the reasons why I got that award, and it's not my first social media award. I think that's my third. Certain people. So, but I think what people said is I have one of the strongest fan base, and we do communicate. We have something called Sexy Friday on Twitter as well.
Okay.
And so basically, my fan base is quite large, and they know themselves, like they are organized, kind of people, or Sexy Nation. And basically we interact a lot. And so I think people were just watching that, and that was what I was rewarded for.
How much of this fan base have you been able to convert to business? How much of them have, what percentage would you say have become, buyers into the Omotola franchise? And, what's your strategy for converting them to buyers?
We're in the process of doing that now with data and stuff like that.
Okay.
We did that a long time ago. I think that was in 2015, 16, thereabout. And that was my music, with my music.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So and that actually worked well. My music sold well. I was well paid for
Nice.
that, and so that's translated very clearly. Also with my reality show. If you've been conversant with that. When my reality show came out, it was the most watched show on TV, at the time.
That's amazing. And of course, you were the first to have your own star in your own reality show from West Africa. I must add that. You're chief in Ondo.
Yes.
But I've never heard anyone call you Chief Omotola.
I don't care for it. I don't care for it. I love Ondo. I love my people. Oh my God, I love the language.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's so musical.
Oh, wow.
It's so musical. I would like to do a movie in Ondo language, just so people, it's so sweet, Yeah, I don't care for titles except almost sexy. I don't care for titles. I just want substance.
In 2013, Omotola was honored in Time magazine's list of 100 most influential people in the world, alongside Michelle Obama, Beyonce, and Kate Middleton. In 2014, she was honored by the Nigerian government as a member of the Order of the Federal Republic (MFR) for contributions to Nigerian cinema. Most recently, Omotola was appointed a voting member of the Academy, the globally revered Oscars.
Time 100 influential people in the world, MFR. Voting a member at the Academy. I mean, that's the Oscars. You've got all these nods, recognition, awards, accolades there is to get. But tell me, what are these nods, accolades, recognition? What does it truly mean to you?
Mostly for me, it means I'm on the right path. I think that's mostly what it does for me. We all love accolades. We all love to get awards and all of that stuff. And I do, just like everybody else. It's exciting. But after the immediate excitement for me, it's gone. It's gone. I don't remember it. I don't care for it. What I care for really is to make a difference.
All right. So as a businesswoman, what would success mean to you?
As a businesswoman?
Yes.
Success will be when I can choose not to work, choose not to do anything, and not panic.
Okay.
That will be success. And not worry or care about whatever it is that I want to do.
So financial independence in a nutshell.
I do have financial independence right now, but if I don't work, I will panic. So it's not being financially independent or sufficient that is the issue. It is that if I choose never ever to work, I will not panic.
All right. So would you say the movie industry as is today is more profitable than it was in the 90s? And what do we need to do? What strategies do we need to execute to scale this industry?
The industry right now is not as profitable as it was some years ago. It isn't. I feel like right now we're starting all over again. That's what it is. We're starting all over again. And because now we're transitioning to the cinemas, and all of that stuff. And it's not easy because it's a new terrain. Prior to some years ago, Nigerians were not going to the cinemas. We don't even have enough screens. I think we just have about 80-something screens right now in the whole of the country. That's not enough to take care of everyone. Obviously not, So we're practically just starting again. And so you have to understand the times and the seasons that come with the industry.
All right, so talking about seasons, it seems this is a season where movie producers can no longer afford you, according to some headlines. Is that true?
Well, it depends on who you are and what you know. Naturally, for every industry, you have players in that industry that maybe have paid their dues and then demand a certain amount of money or whatever for the job they do. And if the industry, for example, in the case of Nollywood, is, like I said, restarting, is not doing as well as it was, and people cannot afford to pay you that kind of money, you have to be innovative. There are other ways you can hire such actors. And unfortunately, a lot of people are not very innovative. If you don't have the cash up front, there's a back end. You can tell the actor to be a co-producer. Like, they can even invest in your project if they trust you and there's good paperwork. So there's so many ways you can pay a talent if you feel like they are worth being in your production.
All right, so tell me, what's your current organizational structure like?
We have the estates and the entertainment, like I said. So when it comes to the entertainment, we have the artists that we watch over, myself, Captain E, and one or two other people here and there. And then so there's branding, And so we don't just do, oh, we're managing you. Like, it's holistic, it's bigger than that. It's more about turning into a brand and a bankable brand internationally. So those are the things we look out for. I'm also a speaker. A lot of people don't know that. I'm an international speaker. In fact, for a long time, my finances were actually coming from speaking engagements. And then when it comes to the properties and everything, or estate, we do have estates around the world that we manage. So yeah, it's just pretty much that. It's estate and entertainment.
Omotola is a mother of 4 with 2 sons and 2 daughters. She got married to Captain Ekeinde, a pilot on a plane on the 23rd of March 1996 at the age of 18, and has had an incredible married life for over 20 years today.
So as a wife and mother, would you say that work-life balance is achievable, or is it a myth?
Very, very achievable. Very, very achievable. Over the years, people have scared women and told them you can't have it all. You can't be a successful mother, a successful wife, and then be good at your career. One has to give. You have to sacrifice. Sacrifice nothing. You don't have to. I mean, sacrifice is natural. We sacrifice every day.
True.
We all do sacrifice every day. Men, women, dogs, cows, we all sacrifice. So don't make it this big thing like, oh my God, I have to sacrifice. I mean, you're not Jesus. Relax yourself. Okay, at the end of the day, it's just about prioritizing.
So what are the key challenges you've had to overcome to make the strides you've made so far in business?
I think what I've learned, the biggest thing that I've learned about business is decision making. It's very hard as an artist to be a businesswoman, because artists are creative people and we are very fast thinking, we're very disorganized, we don't like process, artists don't like process, they just want it to be done, and so the opposite of that when it comes to business is planning, patience, so it's the opposite of exactly who I am as an artist. So what I have learned that has been able to hold both of them together for me is decision making. In business, for you to succeed, you must take decisions. And sometimes it is not easy decisions. There are decisions that sometimes you have to gamble on, take risks with, but you have to be sure that if it doesn't work out, at least you're happy that you tried. So with business, you have to take very, very strong decisions.
Okay. I know you're very well traveled. How has travel and interacting with diverse cultures, helped to shape your person and added value to you?
It opens up your mind because you see how other people interact, you see how other people think, and you understand why they think or do what they do. I tell people, I say, if there is anything in this life you can do for yourself, travel is the best investment in self. Travel, explore the world. If you died today, you die happy. You'll be like, okay, I saw the world. It's a sin to not go anywhere. Just go.
All right. So how would you describe your leadership style?
My leadership style is very eclectic. It's very random. I don't have any. Like I said in the beginning of this interview, I'm very passionate. So you have to understand me. And that's why I don't mix much, because it's very hard to understand me. Because when you first meet me, you'll be in shock, because I am overwhelming as a person, and I know that. And it's not from a bad place, but if you don't know me, you won't know. So I laugh loud, I joke loud, I say what's on my mind, and I love hard, So if last I say I'm very passionate. So if you don't understand me, I might rub you off the wrong way.
So tell me about your failures and failings as a leader.
Failings as a leader. That would definitely be impatience. Really, my husband has always told me that as a leader, you have to always remember that everybody's IQ is not on the same level. So, and that they're not fast, or that they're not, or their IQ is not on that level at that time, does not mean that they are useless. Unfortunately, I am not very good at nurturing. And so that's what I'm learning, which is very weird because I'm very nurturing.
As a parent.
As a parent,
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm very nurturing as a parent, but it's very funny that when it comes to achieving goals, I have almost zero. I expect you to be on your A game.
All right. So what values are important to you and to your firm?
Honesty is my number one thing. In anything, I can't be around dishonest people. If something goes wrong at work or whatever, just tell me. I will get mad. So don't try to control me and say, oh, the reason why I didn't tell you because I don't want to get mad. That's my prerogative. That's my right. Don't take it away from me. Let me get mad. What I can assure you is that I won't hold it against you as such, because I would respect you for telling me. So that's my first thing. Then integrity. Integrity in the sense that when you deal with clients and when you deal with all sorts of people, you must be able to be consistent. You can't have different standards for different people and different things. You must be consistent. And what makes you consistent is knowing the fiber of who you work for or what you work for and what they stand for. So it's not about the clients, it's about you. What do you stand for? Number 3, I would say perfection. Strive for perfection. For me, it's very important that you constantly strive for perfection. Like I said earlier, I'm a perfectionist, and there is nothing that I think cannot be done. So I believe everything is possible. You just haven't figured it out. So just go figure it out, you know. And even if you never figure it out, that's not what the point is. The point is, don't accept that you would not even try to figure it out.
So what's the biggest letdown that you've encountered in your career so far?
Not that I can remember. I also need to let you understand that the way my brain works, I don't regret things as well.
For an enigma like Omotola Jalade Ekeinde, who manages to tower well above her peers with accolades that cause envy, the overwhelming persona keeps pushing the envelope to ensure that she leaves a lasting legacy. However, we must get a glimpse into her lifestyle choices.
So let's move on to lighter stuff. I have a few quick fire questions for you. What do you love to eat?
I love dodo.
How would you describe your fashion style?
My fashion is happy.
What are your favorite brands to wear?
My favorite brands to wear are Nigerian.
What's your favorite car to drive?
Range Rover.
Your favorite travel destination?
Los Angeles.
What's your favorite book of all time?
Spirit Controlled Woman by Beverly Lai.
So what book are you reading right now?
None.
None. So lastly, I'd like to know, Omotola, what makes you happy?
Seeing that things that we thought were impossible are actually being done.
Thank you for coming on Under 40 CEOs, Omotola.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Omotola Jalade Ekeinde, and you too can be an Under 40 CEO.